new developments in Ukraine, and it's actually quite disturbing. And this disturbing news coming out of Ukraine, USA Today reported that in the eastern Ukrainian city of Donetsk, hope I'm saying that right, Jewish people were reportedly handed leaflets upon leaving the local synagogue that ordered them to provide a list of property that they own and to pay a $50 registration fee. And if they didn't, they would have their citizenship revoked, they would face deportation, and have their assets seized. Now, this is according to a report from Ynet News, which ultimately USA Today and other news outlets picked up on. And Ynet News is an Israeli news site. Now, the leaflets bore the name of Denis Pushilin. I hope I'm saying that right. Now, he identifies himself as the chairman of Donetsk's temporary government. So it's basically the pro-Russian government that has taken over in that area. Now, these leaflets were distributed near the Donetsk synagogue and other areas, such as universities. The leaflet states, of course, that all people of Jewish descent over 16 years old must report to the Commissioner for Nationalities in the Donetsk region, Regional Administration Building, and to register. Now, that sounds really sort of dangerous. Now, the leaflet described the documents that you would need, ID and passport, that would register your Jewish religion, religious documents of family members, as well as documents establishing the rights to all real estate property that belongs to you. And that includes vehicles as well. Now, the good news, and there actually is good news in this story, believe it or not, that the leaflet was not from the pro-Russian government. That's at least according to the National Conference Supporting Jews and the Jewish leadership in Donetsk. And, of course, Denis Pushilin, he also says, yeah, that's not us. Like, we know the leaflet exists, we know people handed it out, but that wasn't, it's got my name on it, but trust me, we didn't sign off on that. So we don't know who created and passed out the leaflets. And understandably, now the Jewish community in this town is pretty rattled about this thing. So I want to pass it over to my panelists and see what you guys think about this whole thing, these developments.
Yeah, well, I mean, as we said, it's been kind of debunked as an actual, like, factual thing that, you know, the government there is actually going to be forcing people to, or Jewish people to kind of register themselves. That's not happening, and, you know, thank God for that, because that's, you know, reminiscent of kind of late 1930s Germany. The problem here is, I mean, I think Secretary Kerry, he's commented on it as well, and it's basically, even if kind of the government or there's no official bearing or weight given to these documents, there's obviously some organized anti-Semitic movement within Donetsk, and that's still quite a scary thing. And I wouldn't like to comment on, like, too much, but I'd hope that kind of the local government there and kind of the law officials, they'd investigate and they'd clamp down on whoever has been handing out this anti-Semitic material. Whether or not they do, or they just go, oh, it's nothing to do with us, just ignore it and leave it at that, that's probably not the right way to go about it. They should come down hard on it, but at the moment, they've got other things to deal with at the moment, so I don't think they will.
All right, Jordan.
Yeah, just to reiterate what Stephen said, I mean, you know, praise God that for the small victory of this not being an actual official, or I don't know if you can call a self-declared government official in the first place, but even within that context, this not being an official, you know, ordinance or declaration. But again, as Stephen said, that what this does show, you know, while this is still very troubling, is that tied up in this movement, there is an anti-Semitic aspect, and that makes sense. You know, if you think about it, because this is a nationalistic, pro-Russian movement, it is, you know, inherently racial. It's we identify ourselves ethnically a certain way, therefore we are not part of you. It's, you know, it's us versus them. You're not part of our country. And I think, like, this is really, really hard for us to grasp, especially you and I, Jeff, as Americans, because we don't have an ethnic identity. You know, and like you're an American if you were either A, born here, or B, passed the test, and became a citizen, and then you're just as American as anybody else. Like there is no American nationality. A lot of white people may want to say there is, but and so that's true there. Even in our successionist movements, both historically and contemporary to us, there's a racial component. So this is something you see commonly. Anytime there's a succession movement, it becomes us versus them. And again, thank God this wasn't an official like the Holocaust is not officially restarting apparently. But that sentiment is certainly there, and that's part of these. That's why you don't get to decide whether or not you're part of a country. Like that's just not the way it works. I'm sorry, these people identify ethnically as Russians. If they want to be Russians, then move to Russia. You don't get to cast out the people you don't like and say you're no longer in our country. This is our now country, and we're going to move the country to a different country. That's just not the way it works in the 21st century.
This is just this whole thing is just disturbing. Whenever you have, because there's obviously some huge unrest going on in Ukraine because of Russia going into Crimea and basically saying, "Oh, Crimea, that's ours now," and now they're pushing into East Ukraine. And whenever you get this instability and you get these ultra-nationalist, very right-wing movements coming in there and doing things like this. Now, once again, thankfully, that this was not the case. But there is someone there, as you guys pointed out, there is someone there that is spreading anti-Semitic propaganda and all this stuff targeting a specific group of people, whether or not it's to sow unrest or to blame the pro-Russians. It could be that angle too. We just don't know. All of this combined is just really scary situation, and so we don't know what's gonna happen going forward. I do hope that the best for all the communities involved there. I really do hope that no violence erupts, but you never know.
Well, and if I could make one more point, Jeff, the reason why, even as small of a victory as this is, it should not be downplayed. Is I don't want to break the rule and pull the Hitler card here, but things got eerily Hitlerish here because already the whole Crimea thing and the pro-Russian demonstrations and break-off. That's early Hitler. That what you have there.
I think in this case, breaking Godwin's law is acceptable in this case because it really does draw. The situation does have a lot of parallels that are drawn to that situation. So, and once again, that's why it's such a disturbing, just a disturbing trend that seems to be happening. And
it went from vaguely similar to eerily, almost the exact same thing. Like you had Hitler in the Treaty of Versailles and German minorities getting put, being in different places, not considered Germany, and then him saying, well, we're going to take the Sudetenland back. They're Germans anyway, and and it kind of made sense, but it seemed kind of shady, and then that built on and on. You've got the same thing going here. These people are ethnically Russian, so we're just going to take it back because we lost them at the end of the Cold War, just like the Treaty of Versailles at the end of World War I. Mm-hmm. And then for the Jews to have to start registering, it went from there's some parallels to, oh my God, this is Hitler. So the fact that this is not an official position of not only the Russian government, but not even the breakaway government, it's you don't want to downplay anti-Semitism whenever it shows up, but this is a big victory.
So far.
You don't want to play it down, and kind of in most of the reporting, we don't have any real sense of the scale that these flyers were sent out. They were being handed out at a university campus in Donetsk. So, as you said, anti-Semitism, no matter how kind of grand the scale it's going on, it still needs to be kind of crushed, or at least pointed out and kind of then absolutely quashed. But it could just be kind of coincidence. There may just be an anti-Semitic group who then realised, oh, we can get on the this invasion bandwagon. Maybe we can get some of our political kind of points across as well. But I don't think it's, yes, anti-Semitism is a serious thing and so on, but I don't think this is necessarily as big a deal as it necessarily sounds. It could be, but I just don't think it may just be a really small group of people, 10, 15 people who are anti-Semitic who then just decide to get on this whole bandwagon.